Hello, this video will take the place of class on February 23rd, 2022. You will not have a live session. So we're starting off with the thinking about what does the word variable mean? And I will pause and let you consider what does the word variable mean? How have you heard it or used it in everyday life? And what meaning does it have? So this lesson, lesson 11, is about variables. In this lesson, you will be able to describe variables, you will use variable naming conventions, and you will code variables in written programs. The vocabulary for this lesson is the word variable, which is a symbol or container that holds a value. So, what is a variable? Variables allow us to store information, either text or numbers, that we can use in our code and alter our code using variables. So, when we use variables, we control parts of our code. From the distance, we move Tracy to the color of Tracy's trail. So, variables allow us to make changes to our code in how we store text or numbers. There are very specific naming conventions, or when we define variables, what we are able to name them. So variable underscore name. Again, keep in mind that you have to have an underscore anytime that you have a space. And then equal to some kind of value. So your variable name will be equal to some kind of value. A lot of this lesson will revolve around a numerical value of the variable. So to use a variable, the first thing we have to do is we have to assign the variable. So here in line 1, you will see circle underscore radius. That is the variable. We are defining it or assigning it at this point. Circle underscore radius. And then we have our equals and we have the value that is equal to. So circle underscore radius is equal to 50. And you can envision this as a box. It's fictitious. It's actually not a real box, but it's kind of like in your mind. This fictitious box is called circle underscore radius. And inside that box is stored the value of 50, right? Because that's what happens here. So this is just assigning that variable. Then our code goes on and it says, okay, pen up. So Tracy picks up the pen and moves forward 100 and then puts the pen down. And now the code is ready to use that variable. And so what happens is you'll see we're using the circle command. And instead of putting in circle 50 for circle radius of 50, we use circle and we call the variable instead of putting in the actual radius. Why might we do that? Why might we put a variable in the place of the actual radius. Now that you've been given some time to think about that, well, suppose I want to constantly be changing the variable. So suppose I say all of a sudden, I'm like, you know what? I actually want the circle radius to be 30, right? So this is 30 now, and it goes to the box. It's stored in here. Now the circle radius is 30. Well, all of a sudden I decide, you know what? Change my mind. I want this to go back to 50. Well, we would have to go through our code every single time we made a change, and we would have to go through line by line and change that circle radius. By using the variable or assigning the variable circle radius, we change it one time up here or multiple times up here, and it will automatically populate when we use the variable in the code. So here we are. Value of circle underscore radius is 25. So we define the variable. Circle underscore radius is 25. And then we call circle radius. It's going to draw a circle with a radius of 25. Now we're going to change that variable, and we're going to say, okay, but now in line 4, we're going to have a circle radius is equal to 50. So for line 1 and line 2 and line 3, the radius is 25. But when we hit line 4, we're going to alter that. And that circle radius will now be having a box with the value stored of 50. And now every time after we call circle radius, it's going to use the circle radius of 50. So we're going to draw a circle with a radius of 50. We're going to draw a circle radius equals circle radius times 2. So 50 times 2, this will be stored as 100. And then it's going to draw a circle with a radius of 100. And we can kind of envision this first circle is going to be a radius of 25. And then the second circle is going to be a radius of 50. And the third circle is going to be a radius of 100. And the size of the circle is going to increase on each step. So you'll see we defined it, we used it, we changed it. We used it again, we changed it once again, and then we use it one last time. And that's going to give us circles of 3 different sizes when we finally use it again. So in today's code, you're going to see what happens when we change a variable's value. When we change a variable's value and we run the code, our output is going to be 3 circles. The first is going to have a radius of 25. This is this really small circle. And then Tracy's going to draw a circle with a radius of 50. And you'll see it's probably about 2 times the size of the little one. And then from 50 radius circle, we're going to draw a circle with a radius of 100. And so circle radius equals 25. We call it, or we run it, or we use it, and it draws a circle with 25 radius. Then we change it to circle radius 50 and run it, and it's going to draw for us a circle with a radius of 50. Circle radius equals circle radius times 2. And when we call it, it's going to draw that bigger circle with a radius of 100. In your lesson today, you are working until you should put in about 40 minutes of time in this lesson, but there is no class, so you will work independently to complete the 2.11.1 variables video, 2.11.2 variables check for understanding, 2.11.3 preview increasing length and example. It's an example. You'll work on exercise 2.11.4 dartboard and exercise 2.11.5 line of increasing blocks. The code you learned in today's lesson, or the command you learned, is variable underscore name equals value, and it assigns a variable a value, either text or a numerical value. The exit question, and you should do this on your own. In your own words, describe what is happening at arrow 1, arrow 2, and arrow 3. And I will leave you with this final question. Again, if you have questions, comments, concerns, you're stuck, please email me. I will be back in the office on February 24th, and I will answer all emails at that point.